No, I haven't. Where is he from? Toronto?
Man, I think he's from Toronto, somewhere over there. I don't know. That was Rains Connect, but like we didn't really go too far, man. But like I had all these ideas and like ways I wanted to do things, but like the creative differences kind of like held us from really doing anything, right? Because we were just kind of like not seeing eye to eye as far as like where the dollar should go or how we should do this and that. And but that was when Samson on the Beat was born, man. I was living in Edmonton at the time, and I had really good feelings about it. I was moving out there to be a millwright,
Yeah.
and I had really good feelings about it. And it actually turned out to be super shitty, bro. I was super broke. Nobody would hire me, and all I had was like the music and stuff. And at this time, I wasn't making money from music. I was just like, I couldn't sell a beat for my life, but I was trying, right? I was trying. I even went to a Tony Robbins event to, just try and fucking, I don't know. I figured it would help, and I kind of think that it did actually now in the long run. But basically, yeah, um, fucking we disbanded as the Rexall Brothers, and I kind of got mixed up into some addiction shit or whatever, and then I was about 8 months of that, and then I got clean, and I was like, the only thing that I ever cared about was the beats, and so I went hard into it, and like I made 587 beats in 10 months from March 2nd to the end of the year, and I sold
Okay.
328 of them.
Oh
Um,
wow, that's good.
Yeah, and I got songs with I got a feature from Young Buck, I got a feature from Lil Baby, and I got a feature from Miracle. He used to be on Half Life Classifieds
Yeah,
together.
yeah, I know Miracle, yeah.
Yeah, Miracle. So yeah, we got some junks coming up soon. So it's going to be an exciting year, man, because for all those beats that I sold, man, very very little got released. So it's all coming out this year. So it's going to be a
Yeah.
big wave. I mean, we'll be quite a few places. I'm pretty excited about it.
So what would you say is your style or sound or sonically like?
If I had to pick like between a few things that people could understand and like could relate to, I would say a little bit of Just Blaze mixed with some classified, with a little bit of murder beats uh, and a dash of A-rap music for sure.
Okay.
Like I like to make boom bap beats as far as some people like, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
oh, what are boom bap beats? But like my boom bap beats are like, I feel like they're like a future, like new age boom bap. You know what I mean? Like they rock the same type of samples and shit, but the drum patterns are just not Jay Dilla. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay. And what do you use? Are you like samples, instrumentation,
Wow.
like?
I started out with just samples, man. I didn't know music theory to save my life, and like I'm actually tone deaf in both ears, two different tones in each ear. So like
Oh,
being an engineer, I'll never be on my slate, but that's okay. Um, but I started with just doing samples, man, and making beats like classified Just Blaze type, and then basically just in this last year, I really pushed myself to like learn and like experiment and stuff. Like so, I went from taking one sample and taking the intro and throwing drums over it to like taking 4 or 5 different samples and taking different like little parts of each ones and throwing them all together and like mixing them with some MIDI configuration and shit. So I mean, the growth has been crazy, man.
mhm. Okay. So you said that how long have you been? Because you said that you haven't been doing beats for long. So how long would you say from like when you've started learning to now?
Wow, I mean, like I got a glimpse of it when I was 15. I would watch my bro Rain make beats, but I mean, like they were nothing special either. You know what I mean? They were very, very basic beats, and like I also kind of picked up, looking back at it now, that I learned at a very slow pace because I was watching him and he was scared to experiment, kind of thing. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
So,
So
so like I felt like now that because like this is my full time job now, right? So like I get to spend And I say I get to spend, because it kind of is a treat some days, yo, but I get to spend 16 hours a day sometimes fucking giving it, making custom beats, taking orders and stuff like that, shipping merch and stuff. And, you know, it's truly a blessing. But yeah, that's when I first got a glimpse of it. I mean, I was always kind of just doing it, like I said, as a getaway from writing rap.
Yeah.
But like, as far as like when I said, I'm going to take this program and this is what I'm going to do, and this is how I'm going to make money, was pretty much like whenever they declared COVID, which was like first week of March, I think.
Yeah.
I was actually homeless at the time, man. My dad kicked me out because I was just getting clean off of drugs, but like I was behaving, but he was paranoid, and like he like made a fool of himself, and like I kind of made a fool out of myself too, out of anger and shit. But anyways, I ended up homeless, and like I was sleeping on people's couches and shit like that, and like that was when the beats started coming through, and like I was selling beats for, you know, $20, pack of smokes, half ounce of weed, you know what I mean? Like anything you get by, yeah. And like it really turned into a thing where all of a sudden, like after the first month, I like look at my bro and I'm like, you know, he works a full-time job and gets paid pretty good, you know what I mean? I'm like, well, I think I made like $50 less than you did. And he's like, whoa, man, like that's crazy. Crazy, man. But like it's a super big blessing, man. Like, you know what I mean? Like some people don't understand too, that it's like, man, I used to lay in bed when I was a kid and like just like almost like be tearing in the eye. I wanted it so bad. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right? We don't see that, but that's okay.
So other than like making beats and stuff, are you looking to branch into anything else, like musically or business wise? Do you rap anymore?
I mean, rap seems like something that'll just never go away. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know, I've actually, in this last year too, I attended a battle rap event. There was some local stuff happening here in the 306 a long time ago. I signed up for it and I got no-showed 3 times in a row. So I just never bothered with it. And then one of the guys that I actually filled in for runs a battle league in Alberta. And he called me out and he said, you know, like, I watched your battle and like, you're pretty good. And like, because the third time I just spit my bars to the camera, right?
Yeah.
So he's like, you're pretty good. I'd like to give you like, you know, another platform, you know, to like try and redeem yourself and actually get a battle. And actually I went up against somebody who was undefeated and I beat him. So
Okay.
yeah, it was quite the night, quite the adventure, that's for sure. But yeah, I don't know, like I said, I will never get anywhere in rap if I got to depend on somebody else to produce me a hit record, right? So like until I get that, I mean, I'll always rap, I'll always freestyle a little bit here and there, like always think about it. But like I'm pretty much waiting until like I'm in front of the label, like anyway, you know what I mean? And then I'll be like, oh, and I can rap. Like check this, you know what I mean? Yeah. Kind of like Kanye.
Kanye.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
Yeah. So what are your you had a strong year in 2020, you saying, so what are your goals like in 2021? Is it just selling more beats? Are you trying to get to certain artists, or
definitely about scaling the business always, right? But like what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to set it up for like a little less, they're a little more automated, you know what I mean? Yeah. Like because like I spent so much time sending beat stems and stemming stuff out and going back and fixing things that needed a tweak that somebody noticed and stuff, or like you know, and there was one time I went like 10 days without making any money, and I spent my money stupid beforehand because I was getting used to it. And you know, I was really, really hurting. And basically, yeah. Yeah, but basically, it was tough, man. It was tough. And I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to make it. And I decided I was like, maybe going to get a job. But then that very same day, somebody called me mid-afternoon and was like, yo, there's something fucked up with the stems. I need you to fix it. I'm at the studio right now. So, I mean, people are paying for these studio sessions and shit like that. And you know what I mean? And like, that's partly why I built my rep, is because the reliability, the quickness, the punctuality. You know what I mean? And the just the experience too, man. Because I'm never trying to jam anything down anybody's throat.
Yeah.
And I'm, like, part of my thing is that I like to give people as much industry knowledge as possible, because I mean it's hard to get, especially out west, where like we don't have labels on street corners and shit out here, right?
Yeah.
So it's a little tougher to come across that stuff. So I try and just give it out like it's candy. And you know what I mean? It seems to be working, because I notice that there's a lot of people that don't know. Like everybody's skilled in their own way and stuff like that, right? But like some knowledge doesn't get passed that way. And it's like I have a benefit that, like, my cousin was best friends with Mercury's old manager,
Hmm.
Seth Shishkin. I don't know if you
Yeah.
know him. Live Fast Management, Live Fast Entertainment. But he managed Snack the Ripper and Evil and Merc and everybody and Caspian. And so like he was my cousin's best friend. So when I actually did a song with Caspian before I even met Seth. So he's
Hmm.
like, "Oh, like you did a song with one of my artists? That's nuts, man!" Like, and I was only 19 at the time, eh? And so he was like, he gave me a lot of freebies, man. And like, it's kind of cool, because being that close and working with Stomp Down Killers
Yeah.
at such a young age, I got to watch like Mercury's endeavor, right? Because I followed him hard too, right? And like, I watched the moves he made on Facebook in order to maintain buzz, the things to do
Yeah.
differently. You know what I mean? And I actually learned a lot from him from a distance, man. Between what Seth showed me and like, a blueprint that worked, man. Like I learned a lot from that. So.
So, what would you say? Probably musically. What would you say? Who are you? Who would you say are your influences, or what music would you say like your influences and stuff?
Oh man, Drake. Drake is like my number one. Like I tell people all the time, I don't have time to listen to other people's music, because between what people show me, you know what I mean? Like, hey man, I kind of want to beat like this,
Yeah.
or hey man, check out my new song, you know what I mean? Or listen to the song that we made together, and listening to samples and making beats and stuff like that. When I get time, I throw on Pop Star by Drake. That's pretty much all I get. But like influences, man, obviously like producer wise, it would be Just Blaze, A-Rap Music, DJ Premier. I really been like getting the dash of DJ Premier in my shit lately by scratching hooks and stuff like that. Um, let's see who else is Dr. Dre, obviously. Oh man, can't even believe it. Shout out to Dr. Dre, prayers for Dr. Dre. I don't know how he's doing lately, but
So, do you have like a crew that you work with, or a circle, or is it just you just are independent? You work with anybody?
I'm just independent, man. Like a lot of people tried to scoop me up onto their circle or whatever this year, and I just respectfully declined, because you know what I mean. Like I made my endeavor, my career, I'll call it now, because it definitely is one, um, off of selling beats. So like when I feel like I'm like clicking up with a group, well now that becomes my main focus, and it's for free, and it's like this is my job, right? This is how I need to eat. I'm not going back to
Yeah.
doing fucking long 12-hour days, fucking 25 days away from home. You know what I mean? I'm not doing that. So
So, what's your favorite part of producing, and what's your least favorite part of producing?
my favorite
The
part of
whole.
producing is probably just the sounds I come up with, man. Sometimes like I'll listen back to some beats I made back like a couple days ago, or like even like a month ago. I'm like, oh damn, you know what I mean? Because sometimes you get making stuff, you're like, oh yeah, that sounds dope, and then come back and
Yeah.
it's like, oh man, maybe that's not that, maybe it's not that, you know what I mean? But
Yeah.
like lately, man, I've just been like consecutively impressing myself, and like, you know what I mean? And it's like, it's just all affirmation to me, you know what I mean? It's just like, yeah, bro, this is exactly where you're supposed to be at right now. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you can do more and you could do less, but it's you just you know what I mean? As long as you do something, you're at where you're supposed to be at. You know what I mean?
So, because like music to me is like a lot about legacy. So, like after your career's done, like what would you want? your legacy to be, or what would you want to be remembered for, or how would you want to be remembered in the industry?
I want to be remembered as basically, um, if I were to pick a word for it, I would call it the twine, the twine that holds everything together. You know what I mean? I want to uplift people. I want to teach people. I want people to learn from my mistakes. I want to build a community. You know what I mean? Like, and you'll never tell how far it'll go. You know what I mean? I could get signed next month or whatever, and I could be dealing with way bigger numbers and stuff. But like, as far as being the outlet and like the public figure that I am right now on Facebook to a lot of my peers and stuff like that, is that my voice still carries. You know what I mean? Like, like I got these sweaters and stuff like that, and people are like, "Why didn't you get a wide variety of colors?" I
Mm.
said, "Because you're gonna end up with a whole bunch of stuff that you aren't going to be able to sell. Whereas I tell people what to buy because there's limited stuff to buy. They buy it. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And I mean, I make sure it looks fresh, right? Like, you know what I mean? I ain't selling nothing that looks like it
So
tarnished.
you do your own merch, or
Yeah, I get a local to do it. I tried doing like a Shopify thing that didn't work out. And like, the quality wasn't really there. And then I tried going through like some other dudes and like, because they had cheap prices on shirts, but then I mean they're all
yeah,
paying for it and shipping. So I just got some local to do it. And honestly, like they did a fly job. I'm super happy with it. I'll be having some snapbacks coming up soon. So um, with a different graphic on it. So I'm excited. I have released the artwork for it, but I'll post that on my Samson on the Beat page. Uh, might as well be a good time. Yo, follow me on Facebook, Samson on the Beat. Once I get to 1,100 likes, I'm dropping a remix with Chunky D and Mugshot called "Shout Out to the Gang."
we'll definitely have that in the description for all of the people there. Um, do you have a favorite song or beat that you've done? Like, do you have one that's like special to you, or your favorite one? Just
See, man, I'm making my favorite one every day, though. That's the problem. That's the problem. But yeah, bro, the one I did for Young Buck, like as far as like creatively, like I mean, I used a splice sample and stuff like that. So like creatively, I don't feel like it's my best beat, but like what it is, it's like it goes hard. Or I sampled the instrumental to "What's Poppin'" from
okay,
Jack Harlow, and
yeah.
I made what I call the "What's Poppin'" remix. But my bro Status 631 from New York, he fucking laced that, and it's called "Who's Hot," and that is a record. Oh my goodness, man! And all I took was just that little piano, that dun 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 dun, and like I threw it in like very seldomly and stuff. So like it was totally different beat, but like just that piano was familiar and shit.
Okay. So as you are, even though you are, I guess, in time wise, a newer producer, but you're a producer who has been able to make it your career, at least, you're able to live off of it. What advice would you give to, like, the 14-year-old kid, you know, all his friends are rapping, he can't rap, he's like, but I know beats, I know, I love music. He wants to be, what would you suggest for him?
I
Just
would say consistency trumps talent every single time. Um, So it's all about the work ethic. It's all about the mindset, and it's all about being able to deflect the naysayers, man. Because honestly, I feel like in my own personal endeavor, and I don't know if it's like this for a lot of people who like end up achieving something that was like a long-term goal or something like that. But like when you finally are able to get rid of the naysayers and like you don't have to listen to them naysay, and rather than just deflecting it,
yeah,
your mind starts to work at a powerful rate, right? Because you don't have any baggage dragging you back and making you doubt and stuff like that. Because doubt is inevitable, and you will be your biggest critic, right?
yeah.
So you just got to know when to push through it, and that you're in the right spot, and that it's all happening for a reason, and that you got what it takes, man. You got to believe.
So do you still get like friends and stuff trying to get like free beats and stuff?
No, bro. Actually, the way it kind of works is like my immediate circle, nobody does music. Um, so like basically, like I've gained a lot of music friends over the years. Why I always like spending time like, hey, we should make music together,
Yeah.
and so like and then just with I said I lived all over and stuff like that. So I mean, I always found one music buddy at least. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And when I went to Edmonton, like Edmonton's home for me musically, man. Like that's where like I was born, and like so many people in that city put me on, and like for the first half of the year, like they were responsible for half of my business, and like you know what I mean. And like I was selling beats everywhere, like Switzerland, Cuba, you know what I mean. But like Edmonton, like really held it down for me, man. Shout out to the 780, man.
Um, so do you sell them just off of your site, or do you have people just contact you? How do you promote and sell your beats to the people?
Well, for a long time, I was just doing it through like a contact type thing. I kept an email list. So, when I hadn't, maybe spoken to some people, or if they haven't hit me up for anything like that, I just blast the email. But now the way I do it is I have a website, but it's not a store. So basically, I just upload them, and you can preview them, you can listen to them, and like you can even close the window so you can write while you're listening to them. And
Yeah.
and if it's something that you mess with, you know what I mean, hit me up, because like um I don't assume too many people will just stumble across my link, so it'll be like a given link anyway, so they'll have contact with me. And I mean, on the website, I have how to get a hold of me and stuff like that too. So it's been working pretty good. Everybody, it's kind of like a professional business card. It looks way better than a Gmail email, you know what I mean? So
In the store. So what would be some of your like dream connection, like dream people to produce for, or
Drake for sure, Eminem, um, Belly. Belly is an amazing artist, man. Canadian, like crazy, crazy, crazy. Um, oh wait, I don't even know if he is Canadian, but he lived in Canada for a long time. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know. Like I've already knocked off quite a few, man. Like Young Buck and 50 Cent, when they did the Beg for Mercy tour, they came
Yeah.
to Saskatoon. That was the first concert I ever went to. It was like that was the first big feature I ever had was Young Buck. So like that was like nostalgic right there. Uh,
That is a good one.
And then like I got Young Stitch, which is pretty dope, because like I was pretty close with SDK and to see Snack and where he's at. And
Yeah.
Young Stitch being signed, and like in my opinion, Young Stitch is like the hottest rapper right underneath Mercury, who's out of Canada right now. Like he is
Yeah.
on some shit, man. So I have two records with him. And then, I'm like, wow, I can't wait to break out into, like some Travis Scott type numbers and stuff like that. Well, if I didn't come across an AR for QC, a junior AR who had an old Lil Baby verse,
Yeah.
sold it to me for an affordable price. I mean, it wasn't too affordable, but I mean, I was lucky I had the money at the time. But I mean, like that's crazy. You know what I mean? Like I sometimes I still just sit back and think, and then Miracle. Like I just randomly hit up Miracle one day, and fucking, I didn't even really expect him to respond, and I definitely didn't have no papers like set aside to just hand over to him either. But like we were shooting the shit, and like he did some shit with my bro Raindrop back in the day. So
Mhm.
like when I told him that was like my older brother and stuff like that, we clicked right away. We were shooting the shit. Um, but like that's gonna be another body too. Like I can't wait. All these records are gonna drop. Like I got records with Philly Gregs, Iliano. You ever heard of Iliano?
I've heard the name, but I haven't heard any music.
Yeah,
Or
times two salute gang. Anyway, yeah, he was rapping with like Brooklyn, and when he was doing the YSMG.
okay.
Yeah, and so like, and he's pretty big. Like he's got millions of views on YouTube and stuff, and like for a Canadian rapper, that's impressive. And like Priple, I got Priple on my shit too, man. Like it's crazy, man. All these people that like bought these beats from me, you know what I mean? Like you'd almost think there's like, okay, see you later, then that's it. You know what I mean? man, these guys steady like are like always trying to make moves with me with my beats and stuff like that, and like it's crazy, man. Like those are the people you need to keep around, man. Like you don't need to have a email list of 1,000 people to sell beats to. You need just like 6 loyal homies, man.
That's true. As long as you have that reoccurring and the loyalty and stuff, and a lot of times you'll have the camaraderie to make good music. So it can. So have you done like beat CDs or anything like that you've released or not? Like,
Not personally. I have some stuff on Spotify underneath the Rexall brothers,
oh,
um,
okay,
with Raindrop and stuff, but like beat CDs. Well, no, I guess I shouldn't say that because my first when I first got clean off of drugs, that was like my thing. I was gonna make a beat CD like once a week kind of thing, and I was just gonna hammer them out and and eventually it'll catch fire or something like that. But I ended up doing three. I think I did on average 13 songs a piece.
mm,
So yeah, I did that. I want to talk to Samson volume 1 to 3, and basically what I ended up doing was because I ended up that was right around that time where I started making those sales and like it started coming through.
yeah,
And I basically was like, okay, I'm taking all of these beats, I'm giving them away to anybody who wants them, and
yeah,
I'm starting fresh. And this is how we're doing it now.
true, true. So, um, what would you say is like musically, entertainment, business wise? What would you say are some missteps that you've made that others can learn from and stuff?
Um, don't believe everybody is who they say they are. First of all, in the industry, everybody seems to, and like, and this is kind of where I feel guilty because, you know what I mean? I'm trying to help other artists too by shedding what I know. But
Yeah,
like, am I one of those guys who just fucking thinks he knows everything? You know what I mean? Obviously not, but like, I mean, at least I don't think so. But
yeah,
um, yeah, basically, not everyone is who they say they are. So like, you can get played real easy. You gotta be weary, but yet you can't be too skeptical because you might miss out. You know what I
yeah. You
mean?
never know the opportunity.
You gotta do your homework, go with your gut feeling, make business savvy moves, and also be ready to make a business savvy move, man. Like if the opportunity jumps and you ain't got no paper, like I'm lucky Miracle was as cool as he was. You know what I mean? Like he let me, I was like a week late or whatever, but like he was trying to give me a deal too. And I told him, I'm like, you know what, man, like I didn't come through like how I wanted to. And I'd let him know in advance too. But I was like, I don't mind paying full price, man. Like I was a big fan of him back in the day in the elements
Yeah,
and shit. So
yeah. I remember. I didn't really follow musically, but I remember him battling in the Elements League and stuff from way back in the day and stuff.
yeah,
So
him and
yeah.
Pat Stay, bro. That one was like legendary.
Okay, so other than like the beats, I think I kind of asked. Other than the beats, like what other like what other goals or things are you trying to do? Is it just getting that bigger? That's your full focus right now.
Yeah, it's all about scaling the business, man. Just because, you know what I mean? Like it was always only half a thought for so long. But now that, like the universe kind of like let me know that, I can have what I dreamt of a long time ago and shit. So it's the full focus. And, my girlfriend, she, that poor woman, but, I told her, I was like, basically, there's going to be a day where I can take a whole year off. But I mean, will I take the whole year off? Probably not. You know what I mean? But like, until I get to somewhat close to that point, you know what I mean? It's like, this is what you got to do, or you could lose it. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
in the industry, things come and go as quick as a fart in the wind, So it's like, you got to do and put in the work. And like, like my bro Status hit me up yesterday and he told me, he was like, yeah, man, he's like, you had a crazy year in 2020, but I'm here to tell you, bro, that you need to kick it up a notch because if you slow down, you might lose it. And you got to kick it up a notch, bro. You got to come even harder because they ain't going to expect that. And it's like, wow, man. But those are the type of people you got to have in your corner, man. The type of
that's,
people that think like that.
That is good. Like, people that are not going to let you slack and lose what you have, they're going to push you for greater and stuff is always good to have in your corner. And you can trust those people more.
True, man. It's true.
All right. So, yeah. So, I really, yeah, that's basically the question. So, what I want you to do is tell everybody how to, get in contact with you, where to get in contact with you, where to listen to your beats and stuff like that. I'll have that information in the descriptions as well.
Yep,
Make sure to get things out there. It's like,
yep,
I tell people, you know, a lot of the inspiration for what I'm doing here is to promote and push like Canadian hip hop. Like, I'll be complete. Like, I've been, you know, involved one way or the other hobby thing in Canadian music for like over 20 years, when I used to want to rap and, so I'm very much on promoting the culture and those that have the talent. So let everybody know where to find you and where to get your beats from.
awesome. Hey, well, you can find all of my available beats at www.samsonondabeat91.wixsite.com/SampsonOndabeat. It's a mouthful.
Yeah.
If you need to find the link again, you can find it on my Facebook page. Add me on Facebook, www.facebook.com/samson.ondabeat.9. Follow me on Twitter at Samson on the Beat. Follow me on Instagram at Samson on the Beat. Beat inquiries, email samsononthebeat91@gmail.com. Make sure to go to my YouTube channel, Samson on the Beat. Subscribe, like the videos. I'm trying to get my YouTube channel bumping this year. That's one of my goals, is 1 million views by the end of the year. So any and all subscribers help. If you rock with the music, show your friends. Yeah, 1,100 likes on Facebook, and Chunky D's remix is coming out, and it's a banger, man. So y'all watch out for that. Make sure you follow my page on Facebook at Samson on the Beat. Here it is, Samson on the Beat. Just kidding. Yeah, no.
It's good that everything's a
Having
thing.
me, Paul. I appreciate it a lot, man. I really do. It was an honor to be a part of this.
Yeah, man. So I'll probably afterwards um, maybe play some of your page, and as I said, I'll have all of your links in the descriptions, and I just
You want me to send you a couple of the beats that I mentioned here in the interview?
sure, yeah,
Okay, word.
yeah,
Word.
send them on the Facebook, and and I can play them, and like in a couple of months and stuff, and then I hear a big tune and it's Samson on the beat, I'd be like, hey, like I interviewed this dude.
I respect that a lot, bro. And yo, I don't ever forget where I come from too, bro. So fucking no matter what happens in the future, man. Like I said, I really appreciate this opportunity. I won't forget it.
Of course, man, we'll keep it up, and because I'll be still doing this, so as new things come along, we'll stay connected and stuff, and
Yeah,
I'll definitely still support. So
right on, man.
yeah, so you can just send them through Facebook, I guess, or right, yeah, yeah. So they send them those, and
Like
as I
right
said,
now,
those
while we're in the
updated.
chat, too.
Oh,
Like right now, while we're in the chat, or after.
yeah, sure, yeah, or no, afterwards is fine. Doesn't
Yeah,
matter.
after. Okay,
Yeah.
yeah.
All right, so everybody, Samson on the beat, artists, make sure y'all contact him and let's get some, get your music together. All right, thank you very much, man.
Please, thanks for having me, man.